Kabir and Jennifer joined me on this interview from NuNet. NuNet is the decentralized computer power platform that is looking to build alongside the Cardano ecosystem. So you'll be able to rent out CPU power, disk space, and even GPU power for AI and machine learning. Really cool innovations there. Now, they are also doing a thing called EarnDrop at the moment, and they are doing essentially an ISPO with various stake pool operators in the ecosystem where you can delegate your ADA to these various pools. I think it lasts for about a month, and then you'll be able to earn your ADA rewards and also these utility tokens, the NTX tokens, that will power their ecosystem too. So I'm pretty excited about learning a little bit more about this one. I do have an ISPO update video, the initial stake pool offering update, where I go through everything that is happening in the ecosystem at the moment around Cardano, where you can delegate your ADA to various pools and then earn extra tokens as well. So please give me that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on the notification bell, and you'll hear more about that really, really soon. But let's get into this interview. All right, so what has been happening with the project so far? Last we spoke, there was also a Catalyst proposal that you guys were going through. How did everything go, and what's the development timeline looking like at the moment for everything?
So basically, this year was pretty much a year when we built up the team. So pretty much from the zero to the, I think right now we have more than 20 team members.
Wow.
Most of them are developers. So we have pretty decent, let's say, developer team. We're of course looking forward to invite more members. But yes, so this basically organization of the flow of the team, both development team, marketing team, and looking for people, for colleagues, and sort of onboarding them. Yeah, and building up the foundation for what we project to grow and to sort of attract more projects and more partners from the community, from the space. So this is, in sort of to summarize shortly, that was what we were busy with, and we are still busy. I'm really happy with let's say, results so far, but usually we always look forward and hope for the better. So right now, yes, we talked about the Catalyst proposals, and all this development within the team is also related to these proposals. So one thing that we did pretty much in the beginning of the year, we mapped out the development. How do we do the development? How do we organize the team and the development process in order to handle both the technical vision that we want to build, and the vision of the platform itself, NuNet as a global decentralized economy of computing, which is an economy. So it's technical, economic, tokenomic, community relations. Yeah, so we build the development model, and that development model includes our roadmap of our platform aspects of platform features that we want to inbuild in order to reach that vision. And also what we call use case integrations, which is we are looking for the real world applications of the platform at the point where of the development that the platform is at that current sort of point in time.
Yeah.
With clear understanding that we are not going to build all the technical sort of features immediately. That will take a lot of time, basically years, but we want to make it usable for the certain use cases for the community as soon as possible, not waiting until the platform is fully done, which is a kind of a challenge because we still have to ensure that it will work. It has the security which will answer the requirements of the use cases that we're building first. So, and it happened so that we submitted proposals to the Catalyst project, and we were granted with two grants for the Cardano SPO computing. Yes, thanks. Now we are busy working and doing what we promised to do. So we got two grants for the Fund 7 and Fund 8, I believe. That was the Fund 7 grant was related to the project that is called Cardano SPO computing, and the goal of the project is to provide from the community, what we call community compute providers, which means we do not provide infrastructure ourselves. We allow people who have infrastructure at home or somewhere else in the companies to provide this infrastructure through the decentralized cloud, let's say, or the protocols that we are building for people who want to use that infrastructure. So the first project, the Cardano SPO computing, is geared towards allowing people who are doing for SPOs to use that infrastructure for the SPO computing, basically. Which means, from the larger perspective, that the goal of the project is to decentralize Cardano on the hardware level, not only on the software level.
And I absolutely love that approach, that aspect. And for me as a stable operator myself, I know how important it is to decentralize the hardware. Like we're using so many cloud providers at the moment. And at any moment in time, one of those cloud providers could turn around and say, hey, we don't want anything to do with crypto anymore. We think it's bad for the environment. We think it's bad for business, and close down all those aspects and take out a portion of the network. So we really want to decentralize that. And one particular metrics that came pretty apparent recently is on a website called Pool Tool. It shows like where all the relays and nodes are being hosted at the moment. And one of them is at a particular hosting provider, which has in its terms and services that it does not want any proof of stake operating systems on there. Yet the Cardano network has a nice little portion on there, and it should be removed and decentralized from that. So having a platform like NuNet providing that compute power, great, absolutely fantastic. And I can't wait to actually be able to provide compute power from this giant machine right here next to me, and also use it as a stable operator.
Well, we are looking forward to pretty much do that. So what we're doing now is we are building a kind of small testnet. We're testing the features of the platform, which actually turned out to be, well, as usually turns out in this kind of project, kind of more complicated than we expected. And one of that Cardano has certain security requirements, which we had to pretty much rebuild quite a deep aspects of our prototype in order to allow this use case to run. But then we will have a demo. So what we're planning, we are planning to have a demo in a few months, probably.
Yeah.
Which, well, I mean, we all, it's like we are waiting week and week, and we're trying to solve like one kind of issue after another. But basically, I believe that we are within weeks from the time when we will start inviting SPOs, which, first of all, ones which express the wish to collaborate, to start testing out things, which means to start running maybe some small SPO pools, not SPO pools, like stake pools, via this infrastructure, and to start to weed out the bugs and start to see whether there are any issues from the practical perspective. So, and that is why I mentioned the use case integrations, and this is a development model, that this is precisely how we want to develop further, which is that we pick certain, let's say, low-hanging fruit. I'm not sure actually that Cardano SPO is that low-hanging fruit in this case, but
I don't think so either.
And then we build the features that need to be built on the platform basis, on the platform side. We run it on the development network, and then we attract or we invite people, the users of that specific use case, to start testing it out and start working and to partner with us in order to push that use case to the production level where people can simply join and do the stuff that they're doing. And then we simply, this is precisely the model. And then which means we have already part of community which is using, part of community which can provide the compute power. We have tokenomics that is running for certain use case, and then we have all the features inbuilt in the platform for that use case. But we take really sort of a lot of effort to make those features general enough so that other use cases could use them from the platform. And then we move to another use case, and so we grow the whole ecosystem organically, all the sides of the ecosystem.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so it's really a fun project from the technical perspective and also from the perspective, and we are really happy to see the enthusiasm from the Cardano community, from SPO community, and support that we are getting, and of course from the Catalyst.
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah, so I hope that this will be a sort of good input to the ecosystem.
Right. And it might be a good segue to move over to the EarnDrop side of things. And I'm assuming Jennifer's going to talk about that. Can we cover a little bit what's happening with EarnDrop and how you're involving stake pool operators in this?
So we were really happy to announce our EarnDrop to the community a couple of weeks back. Basically, we wanted to create a campaign that would entice people to come in and use the platform and help the platform develop. So our first round of SPOs, our first round of the EarnDrop, we chose to reward SPOs that have worked with NuNet in some way in the past, whether it be they signed up to the onboarding form, or if they, have participated through media by creating videos and everything like that. So really soon, hopefully the end of today, tomorrow, we will release the list of SPOs that we'll be working with for this round. And basically it will reward the SPO delegators who remain staked to that pool for a certain amount of time, and they'll be rewarded with NTX. So this is something, the EarnDrop is something that will develop over time. So right now, of course, we're going to be focusing on SPOs, but further down the line, it can, range to anyone from testers, maybe to people that contribute to, maybe social media, or PR coverage, or even if they we had someone asking on the AMA that they were a UI and UX designer, could they help and be part of the EarnDrop? So we see this as an ever-evolving thing, and anyone can participate and earn. And obviously, we will set the parameters for what the EarnDrop, how you will earn from the EarnDrop. But we'll make it very clear as to why these people have been chosen. And since launching the EarnDrop, we've had huge interest from SPOs everywhere who want to be involved in the EarnDrop. So what we've done is we've opened up another SPO onboarding form, and they can be considered then for the next round, which the next round we'll be focused on SPOs that actually onboard the devices and help test the NuNet platform. So that's where we are with that.
That's brilliant engagement, because you do want, like Kabir said, that engaged user base that would not only test but use and want to actually have the tokens within the ecosystem, which I should probably highlight. What are the NTX tokens for? What would people be using it for in the ecosystem?
And it will power the NuNet, settling transactions within NuNet itself, which means that people who will be using compute power provided through NuNet will settle these transactions, or will pay for that compute power via NTX tokens. And that makes the utility token, the whole, what we call internal tokenomics of NuNet, which means compute providers will, we will require compute providers to declare the price of the computing that they provide, depending on what kind of hardware they have, depending on what kind of internet connectivity, and so on and so forth. So we will sort of recommend certain prices, but basically, since we're a decentralized network, we will allow anybody to, and the market will set the price. And then we will have people who, for example, in case of this use case of Cardano SPO computing, which means SPOs, which will want to use certain compute power that is provided by NuNet, will basically get the certain, let's say, price that different compute providers will offer, and will make a contract with them via the smart contract. And the NTX will be this token or the unit based on which all the settlings will happen. And also, if some other, let's say, it will come the time, and I will talk about another use case and another catalyst project that we're doing, when all these computings will need external data. And maybe this data will come from external platforms. This is something that we are also building up a roadmap for, to integrate data monetization platforms, so that the data also can be bought in the same ecosystem. And the NuNet token is a token that will settle all the transactions between all the parties.
Very interesting. All right. So I've got one question about the economics behind all of this as well. I think we mentioned it slightly in our last episode. But before I get to that, I just want to switch back to Jennifer and ask about the period and how long delegates will be earning these tokens for. Because I read the article and I recall it was a fairly short staking period where they'll be able to earn these tokens. So I just want to make sure that's clear to users.
Sure. So right now we're looking at a 1 month staking period. It'd be around 6 epochs that they'll be able to claim. And of course, we'll release all the timelines and everything from first to last date and all of the figures that everyone needs. So if you guys just want to follow on Medium and then on Twitter and Telegram, of course, we'll be releasing all of those dates really soon. But the plan is to do 6 epochs, and we have kind of committed to that time frame.
Great. And have you sorted out a claiming process yet, or distribution process?
Yes. So that's kind of the stage we're in now, is just finalizing dotting the I's and crossing the T's on the distribution process. So that's kind of where we are now. So we're hoping to by the end of this week to have something concrete for everyone. And we're really, really excited to share it. Of course, it's taken a little bit of time, but we want to make sure that everything is above board and everything is correct, which is really important as well. So yeah, we're in the last stages of it.
The important part, that another thing why we want to make sure that everything is in order is also because we will be using this model for the further contributions to the NuNet development. And basically, its EarnDrops program is a kind of a program which we will be using, or which we're planning to use, depending on the success and the lessons learned through this campaign. For rewarding basically what we try to do with NuNet, we are trying to build an ecosystem where people from the ecosystem will contribute to the development of the platform itself. And NuNet, the core team of NuNet, will be mostly coordinating, certain requirements of the community, where to move the platform to. And we want these requirements to be pretty technical and to invite people to develop on NuNet. And since, in order to build this ecosystem, we were in our token allocation table, we had tokens which we called mining rewards, which basically were allocated for rewarding the ecosystem members who will contribute to the ecosystem development. So this is the first campaign, but we want to build this program in order to be able to use it for all the other campaigns that will come. So for any sort of contributions. Of course, it may change. But basically, this is why it takes kind of a little bit more time, because we want to build a basis, a kind of a reputation system where we will record contributions of people or community to the platform. It could be also contributions by compute power, or maybe allowing to use certain devices for the testing network, because we also are building all the testing networks so that we can test every version or every code that we push into the mainnet on the distributed infrastructure, which means not on our own machines.
Yeah. I love all those points of contribution for users. So it sounds like the code base may be open source. Is it open source?
It is open source, sure. So, and actually another part that we are sort of, when I was saying that we're building fundamentals, we're also building fundamentals of the open source project where everybody can contribute, where right now the team is working on openly, meaning that all the issues, all the code is just openly accessible through our GitLab page or GitLab portal.
Yeah.
And we're also building this process so that we can invite community members with clear structure how they can contribute, which is a pretty challenging, let's say, endeavor.
Yeah, okay. I can imagine. All right. So there's multiple ways that you can earn. You can contribute compute power, you can contribute to the ecosystem, develop code. You can earn the tokens through the EarnDrop as well, so participating that way, many ways in it. Now, that means there'll be tokens floating around the ecosystem, quite a lot of tokens. And me as a user that wants compute power or storage space, whatever it might be, the token price would fluctuate then. It will go up and down based on the supply and demand of the tokens. How do I control that, to control my costs of my business, my stake pool, to make sure it's always profitable if there's a token price which keeps on fluctuating? I could get in early and get as many as I can and, ensure that I've got like a 3 years worth of supply. That'll be one way of doing it.
Yeah, I understand the question. We are dealing with that too, and it's a pretty involved, let's say, part of the system, which is partly technical, partly economic, partly, let's say, tokenomic.
It's a fun problem. I like this one.
It's a fundamental one, and it's kind of not related only to NuNet. I think it's related to basically within the space, because what we have in the space is that the fluctuations of the price of any crypto units, whatever we call it, is the main reason why crypto is still not kind of used in the real economy. Because let's say you cannot buy goods most of the time. Although there are cases. So we expect to solve this during next year, meaning that we will have to build models based on possibly bonding curves. I don't want to say much, but this is something that we are getting to do. I can sort of probably discuss certain preliminary ideas. By the way, talking about the contributions, these kind of contributions from the community is also welcome, and they will be included in the EarnDrop program, meaning contributions to these kind of things and contributions in terms of use cases. Because what we want to do with all this use case integration program or development program that we're doing, we want to develop those features of the platform that are mostly required by the community at that point in time. Therefore, we want also to hear what is needed, or maybe what kind of ideas there are which we can implement. Plus, we would invite teams or just individual members to do those contributions themselves. Back to the question. One of the options is to have future pricings. Basically, this is a kind of the way I'm looking at the future of DeFi. Is pretty much solve these things via the instruments. And certain certain ability to relate this pricing to maybe some sort of stable coins, but we don't have stable coins right now which are related to physical assets. Most of the stable coins, well, probably all of the stable coins, are related to the financial assets.
Yeah, yeah.
There is even sort of more funner problem with this is that compute pricing is going down all the time.
Yes.
It's a law. It's a Moore's law.
Yeah.
It's kind of now starts to be shaky, but still it holds. So yeah, it will be a really fundamental problem to solve, both on the research side to build a model. So we're looking forward to have a small team pretty much solving that and modeling different cases and then building them into the tokenomic systems, testing them out. So yeah, I predict that it will take next year.
Okay. I'm looking forward to watching the development.
How are we going to solve this? In the meantime, that's pretty much the work with the community and with the first use cases.
Okay. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing you guys develop that. And I think I love throwing you some really hard questions in these interviews. I think our last one, I threw quite a few hard questions at you as well. So it's interesting to see what you guys come up with and solve these problems. Now, you also mentioned that you had another Catalyst proposal that was a fundamental one in Fund 8, which went through another use case. Can you elaborate a little bit more on that one?
Yes. So the second one is called Decentralized GPU Machine Learning Cloud. So the idea with that is that we want to allow people to run machine learning models on the GPUs that, again, obviously this is what we do, GPUs which are owned by different providers, whether as a gaming computer, so whether in, let's say, mining rigs could be.
X ETH miners, yep.
Pardon?
X Ethereum miners.
Exactly. So based on today's events, but the point is that there are a lot of GPUs right now, and a lot of those GPUs are used for mining. Now the world, or at least this space, seems to be moving into that's one factor, it's moving to the proof of stake. Another thing is that machine learning in general is hugely expensive. So to train serious machine learning models, most of the people, they just don't have money for that. You have to hire huge data centers and to spend like tens of millions of dollars in order to train now the state-of-the-art machine learning models. So in order to sort of move the whole artificial intelligence field, democratize it. Basically, we need this kind of technology that we can use. And it's part of the NuNet mission is to allow utilize resources which are scattered around the world, and this is kind of the use case that we thought it's things that we can, let's say, move the platform first. Yes, so this one is going really well, and we are planning to present a demo in pretty much a month from now in the RareBloom event. How that will work. It actually, the Catalyst proposal was for the phase 1, which means the phase 1, it includes using the GPUs which are connected to one computer from the compute provider perspective. And we have the phase 2, which is much more involved and complicated, obviously, is to build virtual, virtual clusters of GPUs out of the computer, of different computers connected through the internet.
Right.
That's obviously much more complicated, and it would be more, let's say, more difficult to connect the amount of GPUs that are available in the, let's say, data centers. They will be slower because they will be connected via internet. However, they will be cheaper and they will allow people to train certain models, huge models, pretty much make them available for research institutions. And again, based on today's events, we hope that this will allow simply these resources to be used for useful stuff, or more useful stuff, which is machine learning, which is a growing field. yeah, so it's a really exciting project, and we're looking forward to start
Absolutely
to
excited
show
about that.
to present the demo, and again to invite people to start using it and sort of put forward the kind of bug requests and complaints, and basically work with us in order to bring this use case to the real world use.
So you're looking forward to all the issues and bugs that get reported. Cool. Me as a developer, I think it's done. I hate, not hate, but when that stage comes in, when all the testing, the QA is done, it's always interesting to get all that feedback and see what's happening with the platform when it's actually really used. But I'm looking forward to that, seeing what you guys are developing and seeing it all in action, and also having it at RareBloom as well. I'll be there, so I get to meet you guys, meet all the other people that are contributing to the project too, which would be really, really exciting.
Yeah, we're really excited to meet everyone at RareBloom, and we've got some really cool initiatives that we want everyone to come up and meet us and meet the team. So Kabir, I, and 2 other team members will be at RareBloom. And we'd love to meet all of you guys that are going to it and build that connection, because it's really important to us that we build those connections.
Yeah, brilliant. It's all a part of that community.
Yes, exactly. So about the issues and bugs, as from my perspective, looking forward to, we're already looking at ways of developing a platform for people to come on, which will also be community led and involved, which again can lead into the EarnDrop as well, where people who contribute and help other people will be included in the EarnDrop in a special way, which is cool to tie it in all together.
So thank you so much for joining me on the episode. It's been an absolute pleasure learning about all of these aspects, and I absolutely love the project, being supported from the very early days. I can't wait for the EarnDrop and getting the community more involved as well. So thank you so much for joining me and giving us that big update and finding a little bit more about everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Pete, and looking forward to meeting you at RareBloom.
Again, thank you, Kabir and Jennifer, for joining me on this interview to talk all about NuNet. It's always really interesting what these teams are trying to do. Some of these challenges are really hard, especially around the tokenomics and the economics of their platform and how that's going to work out. I do want to be able to use this for my own stake pool and have an additional decentralized way of running it. That would be really, really cool. There's always that issue of like centralized cloud storage providers, or cloud service providers, I should say, and having that decentralized would really help with the Cardano blockchain as well. So I'm really interested in seeing this platform come to fruition and be able to use it as well. So everything, all the resources, all the links for the platform, the EarnDrop as well, everything is down in the show notes for you. If you want to learn more, please do. And also make sure you check out that interview I did with Kabir as well, that original interview that talks all about the platform, security issues, everything around it, everything I could think of, I really drilled him on. So check that interview out as well. But that's it for this video. Please consider giving that thumbs up, click subscribe, click on that notification bell, and you hear more from me real soon.
Yeah, gotta do it like that. You've been listening to the Learn Cardano podcast. Gotta get it hype. Crypto is what we like, but this is not investment or financial advice. Gotta do your research, cause it's risky. We know it is. This show is educational and it's informative. Crypto's the future, really, it ain't no debating.